built to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win, yeah. Refuse, mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like Toby, keep on running, toes they gon' take them. Refuse to lose, built to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win, yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win, yeah. Refuse.
Welcome back to CTC. I'm your gracious host, Carl, and I'm back with another episode. And today, we're going to react to the final college football playoff reveal, where the bracket is about to drop. I do have my own projected bracket. So what we're going to do is I'm going to just start talking about it. I'll do the shows and stuff at the end of the show because I don't know when they're going to reveal it. I have it right here. I do have it right here. On my phone on mute, so no copyrights or nothing like that, but I got it right here. But this is what I'm about to do. I have my 12 seeds right here. So my first seed, the Indiana Hoosiers, are the number 1 seed coming into the college football playoffs on my projected bracket. They are 13-0, winning the Big Ten championship. Man, shout out to Signetti. I will talk about that game in the next episode. Shout out to them for the win. Number 2 seed, University of Georgia. They won the SEC championship with ease against Bama. 3 seed, Texas Tech. They absolutely destroyed BYU yet again. That game was eerily similar to the game in the regular season. The 4th seed, I have Ohio State coming in as the 4th seed. Excuse me. They were the number 1 overall seed. I didn't drop them out of a bye week, losing one game being the conference championship game. I couldn't put Oregon over Ohio State. I couldn't put Ole Miss, especially with Lane Kiffin, over Ohio State. So I think Ohio State still gets the bye week, and they come in as the 4th seed. The 5th seed, I have the Oregon Ducks. So they're the first game, the first home game. Well, the 5th seed. 6th seed, I have Ole Miss. Even without Lane, I do have them still the 6th seed. 7th seed, Texas A&M. Now, Texas A&M coming in as the 7th seed. The 8th seed, I have Oklahoma, the University of Oklahoma, coming in as the 8th seed. The 9th seed, I have the Miami Hurricanes. Now, I wouldn't have put them in front of Notre Dame if they weren't going to be back-to-back. But because BYU got destroyed, that put Miami 1 spot behind Notre Dame. And then even though I still think it's week 1, I had to come to the realization that they still won. So I had to put them over Notre Dame. In the 10th spot, I had the Notre Dame Irish at number 10. Now, if you listen, I still got 2 conference champions to put in here. So that means all the at-large bids are gone. The 11th seed, I have the Tulane Green Wave winning the American Athletic Conference. Shout out to them. Dominated North Texas. Forced a lot of turnovers. And the 12th seed, I have the James Madison Dukes. That's right. I do not have the Duke Blue Devils making the college football playoff. I have 2 group of 5 schools. James Madison pulled away late in the Sun Belt Championship game. I have them as the final seed. So that is my seeding. So in my projected bracket, the first 4 byes will be Indiana, Georgia, Texas Tech, and Ohio State. Then the first matchup is 5 versus 12. We have Oregon versus JMU, which, tough bidding for JMU. Then we have 6 versus 11 in a rematch. Ole Miss versus Tulane. This time there's no Lane Kiffin. Will it be different? We don't know. But that was also a blowout in the regular season. Then we have another rematch. 7 versus 10. 7 seed Texas A&M at 10th seed Notre Dame. In a game when Notre Dame missed the extra point and Texas A&M went in to score the game-winning touchdown at the end. That's my 7-10. And my 8-9, funny enough, me and Ace talked about this game at the end of the conference championship preview. We talked about this potential matchup, and it's funny because in my projected bracket, I have Miami versus Oklahoma, with Oklahoma being in Norman. So that is my last matchup, and then obviously, so on and so forth. I'm not going to say it. Well, I'll do it. If Oregon would then play Indiana, then Ole Miss, I have Ole Miss being Tulane, even without Lane, would then go on to play no, hold on. Oregon would not play Indiana. Oregon would go on to play Ohio State, excuse me. Ole Miss would go on to play Texas Tech. I have Notre Dame versus Georgia, and that's a playoff game rematch, I believe. And then Indiana versus Oklahoma. That's how that will work out in my bracket. But that's my current bracket. That's how I got it. I don't have the Blue Devils in. Shout out to them for winning the conference championship, however, but I just don't have them in the bracket, not over JMU or Tulane, with Tulane being a group of 5 automatic qualifier and then JMU just being the 5th best conference champion. So don't have that. I was hoping there was a way I could put Texas in, but I can't put in a 3-loss Texas team over Notre Dame. And I can't put them, I don't think I could put them in over Miami either. Now, granted, they played Ohio State tough. I just think that Florida loss, which is a common opponent with Miami, was super bad. So I couldn't put them in because of that. And then Notre Dame, they've won 10 straight. Now, granted, I get that their 10 wins straight have not been the greatest of competition. Pitt, probably the best team they beat. But they still won 10 straight. And as we could tell from other schools, handling your business should matter. I mean, just because you go against a team you should beat does not mean you should win. We've seen it all the time. It cost Louisville a shot at the Big Ten ACC championship. It cost SMU. They should have beat Cal. It cost them a chance at the ACC championship game. We've seen a lot of times where teams should win that don't go out and win. So I do think I have to give Notre Dame some credit for going out and winning those games. Plus, last season we seen Notre Dame lose to NIU. So it's not like they're not a team that is up for a blunder or two. So I had to give them credit. Shout out to Teddy. He said, here we go. And then shout out to Joe. He says he needs favoritism from the committee. Yeah, absolutely you do. And, I do got to address this too. I know last show I said Alabama should be in no matter what. You can't punish them for playing an extra game. That went out the window with yesterday's performance. Yesterday's performance was horrendous. If they wanted that to be true, they had to come out and play well. And they played horrible. Ty Simpson looked bad. Alabama, yet again, cannot run the football. It just looked bad. So Alabama's out, in my opinion. They played themselves out of the conference championship game. In my opinion, they played themselves out of it. So they're out. I know what I said, but I can't in good faith or unbiasedness die on that like I died on the hill picking them for the SEC championship game. I literally said I'm only picking them because I picked them in the preseason. I can't do it. So Alabama's out, in my opinion. I did a top 25, but I kind of messed it up a little bit. I had Bama at 12 behind Texas. I had Texas as my first team out at 11, and I had Bama as my second team out at 12, and I had Vanderbilt at 13 because Vandy lost to Bama. So unfortunately, Texas misses, in my opinion, by 1 spot. I think they're the first team out. And it's very unfortunate. Also, BYU, again, played themselves out of a chance. Got beat 34-7. Offensively, you had a great drive, followed up with a bunch of nothing. Now, the second half, you had another good drive, just like the first half, but you missed the field goal. And then turnovers started the whole avalanche of destruction in the Big 12 championship game. Losing 34-7 is not a good thing to put on film for the committee. So I have them out, even though they played that extra game. You lose 34-7. I'm sorry. I don't care if it's an extra game. You can't do that. 34-31. Okay, maybe you got a chance, a fighting chance. You held on. You showed the committee, hey, we deserve to be here. We're going against one of the best schools in the country, and we held our own. But to get blown out in that fashion, I just don't think that bodes well with the committee. It don't bode well with me. And I'm a big BYU supporter because of Kalani Sitake. Oh my Lord, Coach Sitake. So I just can't. I can't do it. But also want to shout out the Indiana Hoosiers. I don't know why they're taking so long to reveal this dang bracket. I didn't think I'd be talking here for 11 minutes before they even start. But shout out to Indiana, man. Shout out to Coach Signetti. First 13-0 season, first Big Ten championship game win. I know some people are going to be like, they won a championship back in the 1940s. Big Ten championship was not created until 2011. They've never won it, the game. They won it this year. It's the first one ever. So shout out to them for getting that, man. And all I can say is we tried to tell y'all, man, Signetti is a monster. I remember my college football coaching carousel. I gave it an A+ higher. And he's even surpassed my expectations. Like, I didn't expect for them to play for a natty, especially this early. And he's playing for a natty. So to sit here and say that I saw Indiana playing for a natty, I would be disingenuous. But to sit here and tell y'all, I told y'all that this was an A+ higher and Indiana was going to be a school to watch out for, I can't take credit for that. So, and then I got to also, when I talk about Signetti, I also got to bring up Ace, because me and Ace was in front of that train before anybody. We used to talk about Signetti and JMU all the time, bro. That's why I used to rock with JMU so heavy, because of Coach Signetti. So just want to give Signetti his flowers, man. I see a lot of people starting to talk about Signetti now, and I just want to say I told y'all. And that's why y'all should watch CTC, man. We be really in them trenches. But enough of, talking about myself in Indiana. I just wanted to give him some flowers, man, because a lot of people thought early on when he first got hired, oh, it's not a good hire. It's not good enough. He's so arrogant about, like, you haven't done nothing and blah, blah, blah. Now I just see everybody switch sides. Nah, stay over there. And especially when I saw what Paul Feinbaum said it was a bad hire, I said, oh, yeah, I knew it was a great hire when he said that. But, yeah, man, shout out to them. Any more shout outs I got for conference championship week? Oh, shout out to them for making history. Shout out to Western Michigan. I believe that this is their first ever MAC championship since the game has been made. Let me just Google that to make sure. We all know the situation involving Western Michigan. I'm not going to say on here. And I just felt like that was great to see coming off of that situation. I know he would be proud of them as a former alum. So that was great to see, man. And they won in dominant fashion. Won defensively in dominant fashion. So great for Western Michigan. I believe that's the only one. Let's see. Yeah, no. Oh, no, they won in 2016. So they won one in 2016. So I take that back when they were undefeated. Oh, no, that's right. They did win one with PJ Fleck. That's right. I believe that was what Corey Davis and I can't remember the other receiver name. It was Travis something, and I can't remember the quarterback either. But I think we played them. Michigan State. Oh, no, that was the year after we played them. That was the year after Michigan State played Western Michigan and PJ Fleck. That's kind of how he got his name, or how well they played Michigan State that game. So shout out to Western Michigan getting another big MAC, championship for them. Also, shout out Kennesaw State, second year in Conference USA. Got their first ever Conference USA title. They won, 2 games last year and went from 2 games to winning a conference championship against Jack State, who won it last year. So definitely big shout out to Kennesaw State. Way to make an impact your second year in Conference USA. Shout out to Tulane, who's won another conference championship with a different coach. They first won it with Willie Fritz. And I'm not saying it's their first one, but they won it with Willie Fritz. With, was it not Clayton? So Michael Pratt and Tulane. And then they went on to beat Caleb Williams in that Cotton Bowl. That was with Willie Fritz. And now comes John Summerall, and he wins the American Athletic Conference Championship with Jake Retzlaff and Shaz Preston before he moves on to coach the University of Florida. So shout out to him for that. Shout out JMU for winning their first ever Sun Belt title. They were an FCS school up until, I believe, 2021, 2022 in that area. Then now to win a Sun Belt title in 3 years. It's just amazing to see the Dukes, man. So shout out to them for that, the first ever Sun Belt title. Many more to come, hopefully. Any other first time conference championship winners? I can't remember. I'm trying to remember right now. Duke won their first ever ACC title game. They've been to the title game before. It was 2013, where they got absolutely destroyed by that powerhouse of Florida State. 45-7. Shout out Anthony Boone. He was the quarterback then. But yeah, they avenged kind of their first ever. I don't want to say avenged it, but they got their first ACC championship win. And to me, it's crazy because I got the one in the ACC in basketball too. So it looks like they're going to have an ACC championship in both football and basketball. Shout out Coach Manny Diaz for getting it done. I mean, it's ugly. I didn't want to see it, but hey, man, it happened. So salute to you for that. Next, I think that's it for first-time winners. Yeah, I think first-time winners was Duke, Kennesaw State, JMU, and Indiana, because obviously Georgia's won before. Western Michigan won before in 2016. Tulane won before, obviously, with Willie Fritz. Boise State now won 3 straight. Let's talk about that for a second while we went on this committee. Boise State, another year, another Mountain West Conference championship. They're now 3 straight Mountain West Conference championships for Boise State, now moving to the Pac-12 next season. And Spencer Danielson is not a name that I typically hear in terms of like a group of, Power 5 job or Power 4 job. It's not Power 5 yet. Spencer Danielson, ever since he took over at Boise State, all he's done is win. Boise State was kind of in the dumps before he took over as an interim head coach, turned them around, won the Mountain West. Then last year, Ashton Jeanty breaks out. Even though Jeanty had a year, the year that Danielson took over as an interim head coach, Jeanty was still like that. Me and Ace, we was high on him again before the media took over. But matter of fact, I want to say I had Jeanty as one of my like top backs in the country before that year. But anyway, they take over. They lose one game or go undefeated or something like that. Win the Mountain West. Then Jeanty leaves. They start off slow this year, losing the USF, which I did predict. But turn it around, come back and win the Mountain West title against UNLV yet again. So shout out to Danielson, man, winning the conference title 3 years straight. He don't know what not winning the conference title feel like. Ever since he took over, that's all he's done is win the conference title. So some teams might want to give that man a call just to hear him out, because he's definitely got Boise State back to them powerhouse days. So shout out to Danielson. Just wanted to give him some flowers as well, because he's been doing nothing but great things at Boise State. Dog, what is going on? When y'all gonna reveal these brackets? I got gambling to do, brother. Can y'all hurry up? As we wait for the conference title to be revealed, any questions? Oh, shout out to Joe for this comment. This was about Signetti. He said you were definitely high on him. Facts. I even found a tweet for 2023 that said when they hired him, I was mad. Like, bro, I pounded the table for MSU to hire him. Now we got Big Ten champion. Just imagine, bro. Just imagine. Now, this is not to say I don't like Pat, because I love the fact we got Pat. We back. But just imagine what Signetti would have did at MSU. He doing this at Indiana. It hurts. It hurts. But yeah, they've gone to commercial. Oh, the bracket reveal comes up in 3 minutes. 3 minutes into the bracket reveal. So, but any questions y'all got in the comments? Who y'all got going? Let me know something. As we went on this bracket reveal, I definitely would have started the episode a little bit later if I'd have known this. Like I said, I got some gambling to do. I guess I'm about to gamble on the show. But yeah, anything I want to know, any questions y'all have, things like that, any team you want to predict as a winner, let me know. Here we go. Joe got a question. How do you feel about Notre Dame being ranked higher than Miami? So I kind of answered this earlier in the show. I said that I had to step back, because even though Miami beat them week 1, I do feel like head-to-head has to matter. So if it does matter, no matter when you won, it has to matter. And the fact that BYU lost, putting Miami and Notre Dame side by side, because BYU was the buffer between them. It was Notre Dame, BYU, Miami. It was Notre Dame 10, BYU 11, Miami 12, right? So being the fact that BYU got spanked, they drop out, moves up Miami. And since Miami and Notre Dame is like 1-1, You have to jump Miami over Notre Dame because of the head-to-head. You just have to. Unfortunately for the Notre Dame Irish, which still gets them in, but I feel like, yeah, that head-to-head has to matter. They won. It has to matter. So that's why I have Miami at 9 and I have Notre Dame at 10, being the last team in the college football playoff. So yeah, I had to change my mind on that. Let's see. What about them being higher than Texas? I agree. I agree, man. Same rant I gave Miami. It's kind of the same rant I'll give Texas. You didn't handle your business. You played Florida, albeit on the road, but you played Florida, a reeling Florida team, which, by the way, I did pick them to beat y'all. So, but you played them. You had opportunities to beat them, and you didn't. And you have to. That's a bad loss. You have to, that has to take account into something. So I just feel like that Florida loss done y'all in. If y'all had to beat Florida, y'all would be in over both Miami and Notre Dame, in my opinion. But you didn't. I get your other losses, Ohio State, and I get you have a great win in Texas A&M. But Notre Dame could say, hey, I know we lost, but 1 point loss, they still got to handle business. But, they missed the extra point, bro. Like, you know how people feel about kickers, and for a kicker to cost you the game, they be like, man, it was a kicker, though. But I feel you. I just feel like Texas is the first team out, in my opinion. That Florida loss, I think, is going to hurt them. Yeah, I know. And I feel you on this. He says Notre Dame. What the heck? Oh, there you go. He said Notre Dame beat 2 low-ranked teams all year. I feel you. I 100% feel like Notre Dame needs a tougher schedule. I'm with you on that. I've been saying that. Me and Ace actually been saying that. They can't keep getting away with, oh, we got some of these games scheduled because of tradition, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Okay, you got Stanford for tradition. They suck. Okay, you have Temple for tradition. They're not a good group of 5 school. You got Navy, who's a good group of 5 school, but come on, you're Notre Dame for tradition. Like, they need to. I do feel like it's going to be a year where Notre Dame has to be penalized for these weak schedules that they're playing. I do feel that. But then there's also part of me that feels like the committee respects tradition, so they're not going to hold it against them. And plus, it's the name. People love Notre Dame. People think, when they think of Notre Dame, they think of tradition. They think of the past. So I think they should be penalized for it. But I don't think they will be penalized for it. The only way they'll be penalized for it if they start dropping games, which, again, when you're playing Stanford, you're playing Temple, Navy, it's hard for them to drop games. Now, granted, they did play some ACC teams, but the ACC, as you can see, is weak. As you see, the ACC is weak. They beat Pitt, never believed in Pitt. I've always came on the show and said I don't believe in Pitt. They beat who else? They beat what? Can't even remember the ACC teams they played, but they didn't play. They lost to Miami, who's the best probably ACC team. They just didn't handle their business. So I do think Notre Dame needs to be penalized. Make no mistake about it. They need to have tougher schedules. Joe says we beat Vandy and Texas A&M down the stretch. LOL, I feel like they're not penalized for the first week loss. We should be awarded for the Texas A&M win. I feel you. I think y'all are penalized really because of that Florida loss. That's what I really think it is. All right, here we go. Indiana, number 1, as we all figured, 13-0. By the way, I'm going to be putting checks and X's by mine because I made my own seedings. So Indiana's number 1. I thought they were about to reveal something else. But back to your thing, Joe. I agree. I do feel like y'all need some credit for that Texas A&M win, for sure, because that was a big win. It was Texas A&M only loss, but it's going to be hard to justify putting y'all in as 3 losses over 2 teams that has 2 losses, and one of them beat the other, and one of them also beat a team that you lost to, with Miami being Florida. So I think y'all just going to have to be the odd man out, and that's why I have y'all as the first team out. Number 2 is Ohio State. Okay, that's not what I saw coming. I saw Georgia being number 2, but the committee puts Ohio State at number 2. I'm kind of surprised about that one. I thought Georgia winning the SEC would put them at 2, but apparently they figured, hey, man, they lost to the number 2 team in the country by 3 points because of a kicker. Let's put them at 2. I had Ohio State at 4. I had them behind Georgia and Texas Tech. Georgia dominant win in the SEC championship game. Big 12, Texas Tech dominated the Big 12 championship game. I still had them getting a bye. I had them at 4, not 2. But hey, Joe says he's not mad at that. They only lost in the Big Ten championship versus the number 2 team. I can see that. I just thought they would prioritize conference championships over that and then give them the bye week at 4. Because that's what I would have done. I would have still gave them the bye week because they lost the extra game in the conference championship week, but you still lost. So you got to have some type of penalty. So I would have put the other conference champs in front of them. As Georgia comes in at 3, and that means Texas Tech will come in at 4, which I had them at 3. Let me say they better come in at 4. That'd be crazy. But yeah, I felt like Ohio State did deserve some type of penalty, but I think they did deserve a bye week still. So I had them at 4. I had Georgia at 2, Texas Tech at 3. And I kind of thought about putting Texas Tech at 2, but I was like, nah, they're not going to. The SEC is still a gauntlet. And for them to only have 1 loss in it, being to Bama, which they corrected that loss, I got to put Georgia at 2. But hey, man, Georgia comes in at 3, Ohio State comes in at 2, which makes, like I said, Texas Tech should be in at 4, and they are. Texas Tech is at 4. So out of the top 4, we only got 1 right. We got Indiana right at 1, which was obvious. And then there was a mix-up between my 4. Ohio State 2, Georgia 3, Texas Tech at 4. All earning the first week bye. Again, not mad at it. Just sort of, I had a different thought process behind it. But either way, I had these all in my top 4. So again, not really mad at it. Now we just wait to see 5 through 12. Those were 3 automatic qualifiers with the conference champions and 1 at-large bid with Ohio State. So number 5, I had Oregon. Let's see. Please reveal it all now. They stalling. I got 5 at Oregon. Come on, reveal 5, bro. Come on, bro. I hope my YouTube TV ain't stuck because this joint look like it's just at the same, but I ain't got no sound, so I can't tell if they talking on that. That sucks. There we go. Number 5 is Oregon. The Ducks coming at 5. I just felt like they were the best team that didn't play on conference championship week. And let me not say that. I think that they were already ranked so high. They had 1 loss. That 1 loss being to Indiana. That's their only loss. They probably had the best resume outside the top 4. I said the only loss is Indiana, which they played them tight. They just threw a late game pick 6, I believe. No, Indiana after a late game pick 6 just turned up. Mendoza answered that bell, and that was kind of a Heisman moment to me for him. Then you went out. You beat USC. You beat Washington. You beat was it Wisconsin? No, I don't think they played Wisconsin. But you dogged Minnesota. Like, you went out. So 11-1, didn't play for the conference championship because you had 2 undefeated. You had number 1 and number 2 in your conference. Felt like they deserved 5. Number 6 is Ole Miss, like I predicted. Even though Lane is gone, I still feel like you had to put him in at 6. An SEC team with 1 loss, only loss being to Georgia, you have to put them at 6. Now, granted, that, like I said, their only loss is to a top 4 school, but they lost to now 3rd-ranked Georgia. Well, they were still ranked 3rd. 3rd-ranked Georgia as opposed to 1st-ranked Indiana. So, yeah, you have to put them at 6 and Oregon at 5. Now at 7, if y'all remember, I have Texas A&M here at 7. I don't know if that'll be what happens, but I have Texas A&M here. Again, Texas A&M also a 1-loss team, but they lost to Texas, which we currently don't know where they're ranked. But at the time, they were ranked 16, which is still not a bad loss. And Texas A&M comes in at 7. So you don't put them over these 2 because they have a better loss than them, but they still only have 1 loss. So you got to put them high. And Joe says I'm actually rooting for Ole Miss because of the Lane situation. You know, I'm always rooting for Ole Miss. But the Lane situation, it sucks. And I get it. No, let me say this about the Lane situation. This is why I don't listen to coaches when they say there's no loyalty in college football and all it is free agency. Brother, Ole Miss has had the best season ever out of Ole Miss and Mississippi State. And within that, Lane goes to LSU. So don't tell me about players leaving for NIL money because Lane just left Ole Miss with their best season ever for the money to go to LSU. So get out. Y'all can miss me with all that. Next is Oklahoma at 8, which I had. Oklahoma, great year, man. Only 2 losses all year. They lost to Texas, and they lost to I can't remember who else they lost to. Who else? Ole Miss. They lost to Ole Miss. Other than that, 10-2, beat Michigan, beat Bama. Tennessee's not a good win. Tennessee had no good wins all year, but they beat Tennessee. So Oklahoma at 8, well deserved. But yeah, I just feel like I don't care about what coaches say about NIL. Y'all just want to control these players, and you can't because of the money. So now it's look at free agency. No, because the moment you're offering more money for a different job, you don't care about how many years left in your contract. You taking it, and that's what happened. Lane left Ole Miss for more money and more prestige at LSU. Just like any kid would leave. Let's just say any kid offered. We'll use Judkins. Judkins left Ole Miss for more money at Ohio State, and I think he even tried to crucify Judkins for it. And when they won a natty, and then you do the same thing next year. So like, I'm not trying to hear that. I'm not. What? Alabama made the playoffs? Are you serious? Alabama comes in at number 9. This just threw a big monkey wrench in the playoffs. The committee did not care about them getting spanked and looking bad. Alabama still made the playoffs. This is insane. I completely 100% disagree. I disagree. And I know what I said on my conference championship show. You lose 28-7 and you don't even look like you should be there. You should not be in the playoff. But Alabama plays Oklahoma in a rematch in the college football playoffs. That is insane. They should not be here. That means Miami just got screwed. That's what this tells me. This tells me that Miami just got screwed and they won't make the playoff. Because I don't think they'll put Miami in over Notre Dame. I have Miami over Notre Dame. But with this tells me that Notre Dame's going to be in and Miami's out. Because we have 3 spots left and 2 conference champions left. That means there's 1 at-large bid left, man. And I think it's going to Notre Dame. I think they're going to do it. They're going to leave Miami out, which is crazy. You leave Miami out for Bama, who got worked on TV. I said that they're not going to penalize them for that bonus game, and that's what happened. But I would have agreed if Bama played well. But this is just pure favoritism. This is pure favoritism. This is pure SEC bias. And that's all that is. This is insane. And Miami's in. Miami's in over Notre Dame. Miami just got in. Notre Dame is out. Oh, they said head-to-head matters. Miami comes in at 10. That means that Notre Dame is out because we still have 2 conference champs left. Holy. So maybe there is some faith in the committee after all. Notre Dame is out. Maybe this makes Notre Dame get a tougher schedule. Miami gets in with the head-to-head win, and I'm happy. This is from a guy. I wanted Miami in. I thought they were cooked. They are in. Let's see. They got the resume up. They were 7th FPI versus 3rd to Notre Dame. 14th in strength of a record versus 13th to Notre Dame. 6th in, I don't even know what this is. 45th in strength of schedule versus 44th. So all the metrics, it looks like went to Notre Dame, but it looks like head-to-head trumped all. And I'm happy for it. I'm happy for it. I am happy that Miami got in over Notre Dame. They did win head-to-head, and Notre Dame won 10 straight, but it wasn't that good. Other than USC. USC was a good win. But I'm happy for it. I'm happy. Shout out to Miami, man. The ACC gets some representation because I don't think Duke gets in. I think the last 2 spots go to Tulane at 11 and JMU at 12. But, hey, I've been wrong a couple times in this episode already with Bama getting in, which that's still BS. Bama should not be in. And with Miami, I thought that told me that Notre Dame would get in over Miami, but apparently I was wrong. So, shout out to Hurricanes. They played Texas A&M, who Notre Dame played in the regular season, week 1 of the playoff. And now for number 11, it should be Tulane. 11 should be Tulane. And they will play Ole Miss. That's what I have. But wow, man. Wow. Just when you thought the committee couldn't surprise you, they surprised you. I can't believe Bama got in. I do not agree with this at all. I don't. But sorry, Joe. Texas is out. Texas and Notre Dame is out. I'm pretty sure Notre Dame is going to be the first team out, and Texas is going to be the second team out. And Vanderbilt's also out, Pavia. So sorry to you for that, but it sucks, man. They had their best season ever, 10-2, only 10-win season for Notre Dame, for Vanderbilt, and they couldn't get in the playoff. Can y'all release number 11, bro? Dang. We know number 11 is the Tulane Green Wave. Like I said, they will take on Ole Miss. Let's see here. Yep, the Green Wave of Tulane, which I got to send an apology to my guy Lee. He asked me in the preseason. First of all, I told him they were going to win the American in the preseason. But then he was like, should I bet them to make the playoff? And I was like, I don't know. Because I had them winning the American, and he didn't do it, and they made the playoff. And I think it was a good chunk of change, too. So, sorry, but they got in, and they will face Ole Miss in a rematch earlier in the regular season, which Ole Miss absolutely destroyed Tulane. I want to say the score was like 42-6 or something crazy like that. It was a blowout. It was bad. Yeah. And 12 is JMU, like I had. So JMU does get in. They do face Oregon first week of the college football playoff. So I got 11 of the 12 teams right. The only team I didn't get was Bama. And I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 seeds correct because of the whole mix up in the top 4 and then Bama and Miami. So shout out to the committee. Shout out to the playoffs. It is set. I will have a college football bracket like showing who I have winning the championship, showing who I have winning game by game. But yeah, I didn't think Duke would get in. I felt like Duke won the ACC championship for pure pride because they're not getting in the playoff. The first team out is Notre Dame. I figured that'd be the case because Miami probably jumped them because they head-to-head. And the second team out is probably Texas. But yeah, man, shout out to the Dukes. No, the second team out was BYU. That means Texas ain't even have a shot. Wow, I am very confused about that. But the second team out is BYU. So Notre Dame would have got in with an extra spot, and then BYU would have got in with an extra 2 spots. I'm very surprised about that. Really am. But the committee is set. I wish Ace was here to get his live reaction on the whole situation because that'd have been cool, but he's not running errands. Especially, they got in. He's a Miami fan. I'm rooting for him. I don't want them to win it all, but y'all know I wanted to win it all. We rooting for Signetti on this side, but a couple wins I ain't mad at. But that is your college football playoff bracket. Before I leave, I still got to introduce these shows. So we got the main show featuring Joe, Tomo, and Dave. That's every Tuesday and Friday from 7 o'clock to 8:30ish. I got to address this comment real quick. This is everything I said on my show. What was that? Friday happened. I said Friday, Bama's going to get or will get in if it's a good game. Now that part was wrong because they're not going to penalize them for playing an extra game. They would be in if there wasn't full conference championship week. While if BYU loses, they were already out if it wasn't full conference championship week. So they'll just keep them out. That's what happened here. Even though I disagree with Bama part, I feel like Bama should have been out because they got spanked. But yeah, that's what I said Friday, and that's what happened today. But yeah, we got Unfazed Tuesdays, 8 o'clock Central. 9 o'clock Eastern, featuring Joe and AJ. Next, BWT, Baseball with Teddy. Stay tuned for Teddy to drop episodes. FFC, Fantasy Football with Coach Coombs. This is now week, 14? And caught me in the NFL. So I know them fantasy football playoffs is around the corner. So tune in for your waiver wires and tidbits. We got Real Ballers Only featuring Vaughn. NBA show. We have Dave's Doghouse, highlights and lowlights of sport. And we have In the Red Corner featuring Tomo, Ricky, and Ty, which I'm pretty sure they're going live today. I heard there was a big boxing event last night and the whole Terrence Crawford situation. Know they're going to talk about that. But that's all the shows we have on the network. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. And, like, comment, share, subscribe to this episode as well. And if you like what you're listening to, stick with us. Now, with that being said, we got 20 minutes until Ravens Steelers. So I'm about to get out of here. I got some bets to make. Man. Oh, also, tune in later today. I will be going live, recapping Conference Championship Week. The episode is pretty much written up. I just got to do the major performances part of the episode, which shouldn't take long. So stay tuned for that. But I'm gone, man. This is crazy. Bama should be out. Peace.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.